With all the recent news, the data, inflation coming down, interest rates high, people not sure what in the hell's going on, there's definitely a 90+% chance the Feds this week are definitely not gonna hike the rates, but they'll probably leave it on the table for November. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's another week, another episode. Look out in the beautiful sky of San Diego. Bad news is I think summer is leaving us and fall is upon us. That means shorter nights, shorter days, time goes back. Anyways, what's up, guys? This is The Brief with your one and only Kenny Simpson. It's another week. And yes, every week, will it ever just be a week where there's no huss, no fuss, no drama, no data? Of course not, because all we have, and we live in a world of data and things are moving so fast, we all have so much to report. But without wasting a bunch of time, and you're not here to listen to me complain about living in beautiful San Diego, but you are here to get the data and the news of what in the world's going on out there, right? With the high rates, with the inventory, inflation, all that stuff. We've got it. Here we go. Let's jump into it. As always, we're going over those lovely inventory numbers, which, my friends, are not going to be any better. So here we go. Last week, San Diego, we had 2785 active and 428 new. Just to give you two numbers, this week, 2881 active and 398 new, 373 recent sales, 416 pending. What about nationally? Nationally, because I'm gonna start giving you those numbers, you guys can just see, so we can see if nationally starts to move up, to see if we're gonna see it. You know, we wanna watch this week over week inventory. It's like the inventory tracker, right? We wanna watch it. I didn't steal that. That was Logan from Housing Wire, his inventory tracker. We're watching week over week. Why? Because if we think home prices are gonna crash and things are gonna change, we've gotta watch the inventory. So nationally, last week, the total listings were 509,156. This week, 518,626. Ooh, we're up about roundabout way 10,000. 6,295 new. Last week was 50,212 new. Let's be honest, those are terrible numbers. And we are also coming off of our summer into fall and winter. And what does that mean? That means most of you don't move. But between October and like the end of the year, I'm just letting you guys know, please pay attention here. Home buyers, attention. Between October and December, I've been doing this 20 years. I am telling you, last year that you got the deals. Home buyers this year's buyers are scared. They're pulling back. 60,000 of you in August pulled out for some reason, canceled escrows, whether mostly I'm guessing it's due to higher interest rates. But if you're going to buy a home between October and December, this is where most people find their deals, where the sellers that are sitting on the market, they need to move. So if you're a home buyer and you're sitting here worried about the interest rates, well, my friends, guess what? I think you might be able to pick up an opportunity, and then next year, when the rates come down and everybody enters the market, because they will, and we don't have the inventory, because I don't think we will, you will be refining while everybody's buying, and you can win. So home buyers, great time to start looking to pick up a deal. It becomes maybe more of a buyer's market. We'll see. There's not much inventory, but hey, keep your eye out. Also, what's going on this week? We've got builder confidence. We've got housing stats. Look, I wouldn't think too much into this stuff because I know we're seeing it. I'm giving you data week over week. Confident or not, look, they're still making money. There's not a lot of inventory. They're going to have to give a little bit more credit, or, you know, I think it's about 32% of sales they're making. They're giving maybe a price reduction or some type of credit. They're giving, what they're doing is a 3-2-1 buy down. So if the rate's 7, it starts at 4, then it goes to 5, then 6 and 7. So they're giving you incentives to move in, whether it's off the price, maybe some off closing costs, maybe some down to buy the rate. But hey, they're still making money, they're still profitable, and they are competing with minimal inventory, so they're kind of winning right now. Hence probably why Warren Buffett bought a bunch of their stocks. Housing stats come out this week. That'll be interesting to see how those are doing, if they're continuing to increase. Home buyers canceled 60,000 contracts in the month of August. Was that due to high rates? Was that due to property condition? Was that due to affordability? Maybe the rate spiked, they couldn't qualify. But home buyers, 60,000 got canceled. It's a very, it's like, I don't know if it's a record high, it's high. So what can you do if you're a home buyer, you're sitting there going, Kenny, I'm dealing with these high interest rates. I don't know what to do. it's affordability, or I'm scared. Look, guys, as I mentioned in all of my content, all my videos, you're either going to buy now and refi when rates come down, or you're going to sit on the sidelines and wait for people to come in the market and buy when rates go down. You're seeing week after week, all the data, all the experts are telling you they're not seeing where the inventory is going to come. So if rates go down, you will just be in more of a line, more waiting period. And so I think with the data and what's showing is between October and December, it's a great time to pick up a property, probably dealing with less competition, get in there and get a good deal. Yes, the interest rate's high, but when everybody's buying next year, you're refining and looking pretty. Also, Barbara Cochran is out there blabbing about the real estate market. She's a believer. I'm not gonna agree or disagree with her, but look, there's some people saying rates are going to go down. We're going to get more inventory and the housing market's going to correct 10, 20, 30%. Barbara Cochran's in my camp with a lot of other camps that inventory is not going to go down because people are locked in their homes because of those low payments, right? And she thinks when the rates hit, you're going to see buyer demand come in, push hard, and you're going to see prices go up 10, 15, even 20%. She's saying, again, if you're sitting on the sideline and you are in a place like San Diego, you know you're not going to get the inventory, you know you're going to get the buyers, and those rates go down, would you rather buy today or would you rather wait and pay that 10, 15, 20% more? Also, what's going on out there? Calling all new first-time home buyers. Look, let's be honest. The only reason you're probably not buying right now in today's market is because of one thing and one thing only. It's the payments too high. It's not about the rate. It's not about the purchase price. It's not about what's going on. Literally, it's because you go out, you get with the loan officer, you look at that purchase price, you look at the down payment, you look at the rate, but then you look at the payment and you go, oh my gosh, how can I afford this? Or how can I swallow this? Or this doesn't make any sense. But think about it. What are your options? Your options are either to buy now, refi when rates go down, or wait, don't buy now, keep renting, and when rates come down, then you're going to move in the market and buy. But what happens when you're looking at that $700,000, $500,000 condo, whatever it is, the $500,000 is going to go to $600. The $700 is going to go to $800. Why do we think that? Is because inventory is trapped. It's the ice age. The Fed raised rates way too low. All those people sitting on the 2s and 3s and 4% are not going to move. They are not going anywhere. And so when that rates drop, you, the buyers, it's going to be like Black Friday at Best Buy or Walmart or Target or wherever you go. There's going to be way more buyers, way more demand. So if you're competing with 3, 4, 5 offers now, well, guess what? You'll probably be competing with 20 to 30 plus offers then, because the buyers are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the rates to drop. You know it, and I know it. We've already seen this in COVID. We already see how this plays off. This is not our first rodeo, folks. So buyers, what do you want to do? You need to make a decision. But sitting here and thinking that rates are going to drop and more inventory and price are going to drop, I don't think that's going to happen, especially in a market like here, San Diego. So, here in California, we've got this thing called ADU. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but basically what an ADU is, accessory dwelling unit. If you have a house, if you have a 2 unit, if you have a 4 unit, if you have a 30 unit, doesn't matter. San Diego and California has changed their zoning laws. What they're trying to do is they need more units. We are so under-housed here in California, if that's a word. So are ADUs going to solve the problem here in other states where they need more housing? Well, let's take a look at the numbers and see how many ADUs were produced or built or, come to fruition over the last, let's say, 5 years, 4 years. But here's the thing that this article that I read was not talking about, which I know. Unfortunately, a lot of the ADUs are talking about that became legal were already here. Folks, in San Diego, if you live here, and throughout California, there's a lot of people that had illegal units, garages, carports they turned into, storage units, offices, laundry units, whatever it was, they converted it prior. They just got it legal. So how many of those units out of the 68,000 units that were built from 17 to 21 built, I don't think they're all built. I think we just got that many new ADU licenses and permits done. So a lot of those were already built. A lot of those people were living in. And so that, even though that seems like a big number, for a population of 40 million, that's not much. Also, there's 24,000 new permits in 2022. That's just California. So there's other states that are going to come out, they're going to need this, probably states like Seattle, Washington, or maybe parts of Florida. So these urban places where there's just no more land, no more dirt, But there's already structures built where somebody might have a house on a 20,000 square foot lot and they're not using all of it. They can go build a 2-unit on the back. Or even if you have a 30-unit apartment building, you have 30 garages, people are converting the garages. So ADUs, are they going to help with the housing? Of course they will. Is it going to be enough? Absolutely not. The other problem with ADUs here, like California and other states, is when you go to get your plans and permits, it's taking way too long. I mean, I'm hearing cases a year. I'm hearing over a year. If you go coastal, give me a break. It's ridiculous. So what California, places like this need to do is you just need to expedite the process of getting our plans and permits done. If you could say, hey, follow this and get her done in 90 days, so many more people will do it. A lot of people don't want to go build and do all this stuff because it takes way too long. It's too much of a pain in the ass. It costs too much money. And even when they're building it, if you guys have ever done one here in California, depending on the inspector you get, they beat you up, they add more conditions, they start changing things around. It's unbelievable. Nobody's on the same page when it comes to down like here at San Diego and all the inspectors. Literally, you can have a different conversation if you just pick up the phone and call somebody over there or meet an inspector out. So we just need to get on the same page of the process and inspectors. It's almost like doing loans. If you submit a loan over to a lender and every underwriter changes up how they underwrite, we'd have approval, not approval. Like, we need to be across the same board. This is how we deal with the mortgages. We're not all underwriting loans all differently. Fannie and Freddie set a standard and a lot of us just go right off that. So they need to set a standard at these big cities and counties and basically just trickle that down to the rest of the builders and the investors that want to do this. And make it simple and easy and cost effective. And guess what? You will get more results. You'll get way more units built. And the reason why they're not building more is because it's a pain in the ass. That's really the truth. So a couple charts that I want to put up here because I wanted to talk about the economy. As I mentioned before, the Feds are going to meet this week. They're 90% chance they're not going to rate hike. I don't think they're going to rate hike. They're going to keep watching the data. And don't forget, they still could hike in November. So we're not off this hike train yet. They're not. A lot of people think this is the last one they just did. But guess what? I would not put it past them to do another hike. So let's look at a couple charts because I want you guys to think about a couple things. Number one is really, we need things to keep declining. We need jobs to slow down. We need growth to slow down. We need inflation to slow down, right? It doesn't help that energy is going up and gas is going up and things like this. That is not helping us out. I don't know why, but here in California, gas just got more ridiculously expensive. This is just insane. Nobody understands it makes sense. I guess we just all need to buy electric cars and basically get over this gas thing because it's never going to change. I guess we're just going to live with high energy and high gas bills. Water's going up, electricity's going up, fuel's going up. It's insane. But remember, guys, when the price of diesel goes up like that and it costs more money for that milk truck to deliver those gallons of milk, it gets passed to you, the consumer. They're not eating anymore. So any other expense is just getting passed down to us and we're feeling it. So one of the charts I wanted to bring up and talk about was a lot of people say credit card debts are getting high, inflation's not getting that good, and they think that the home buyer is, the household person is screwed right now. They got, between the mortgage debt, the credit card debt, the student loan debt, all that, they can't afford it. Well, if you look at the chart that I put up here, it shows you how back, you could look in history, but in 2005, how much higher. So it's showing you how the household balance sheet is and how they're doing with income and overall managing the debt. So right now, we're doing okay. We're not even close to 2005 levels or stuff. So like I said, we want to worry when we start seeing the data showing signs. We want to start thinking, oh my gosh, are we going to have a housing crash when we start seeing inventory spike? We want to start saying, oh my gosh, the consumer is having problems when we see 30, 60, 90-day lates on autos, on credit cards, on mortgages spike. We're not seeing that. So the consumer so far is hanging in there. Yes, the $70 billion debt that we're going to be paying every year to the government of called student loan debt's $45 million. That's coming due, but this chart just shows you clearly, basically, the consumer is doing better overall than we think. And there's other charts too, when you see the liabilities to the household net worth, it's insane. So the consumer compared to last time we had the Great Recession is definitely doing better. Yes, they took out more debt because there's more debt, Kenny. I go, exactly, guys, but compared then and now, there's been 30 million more people added to this country. 30 million more people. And on top of that, the biggest debt they have is mortgages, and that average mortgage rate across the whole board is 3.78. So Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, us crying at 7% sucks, but majority of people are locked in at 3.78. That's why they're not going anywhere. Their biggest expense is fixed low, so they're sitting pretty. And yes, they've been getting wage increases, so they are offsetting, have to offset some of this other stuff, higher healthcare, energy, commodities, things like that, but that's it. So the other chart that I want to show you guys that I'm looking at here with you is basically it's the Federal Reserve where they predict rates are going to be. So if you guys look, the orange is the 30-year fix, the red is the 10-year treasury, and then the blue is the Fed funds rate. If you don't know what the Fed funds rate is, you know that line of credit that you have on your house that's been going up? Well, that has to do with your Fed funds rate. They've been jacking that thing up. So if you look here, we literally went from super low in 21 and that thing just went literally like a rocket ship. So we are actually over 5%. And as you can see, if you kind of look in there, 2024, we're going to go from Fed funds. It's saying, let's say 5.25, 5.5 to probably somewhere in the mid 4s. But what I want you guys to look at is that 30-year fixed mortgage is up there at 7, which we've obviously surpassed that. They're projecting that to come down to by 2024. This is their projections. Remember, the Fed never gets anything right. Sorry, just how to say it. They're projecting rates to come down into the mid 5s. But the other thing that I want you to look at is the 10-year treasury that sits over 4% now. That was their projections. It would be under. It sits over. They're projecting that 10-year treasury by 2024, maybe this time or mid 2024, to come down to 3% or under. So remember, if you take a 3% or 2.75 and we go back to our original spread, that was at like 1.6, 1.8, and you put that in your handy dandy calculator, you understand what rate we get at, right? You do get that. That's basically a rate that is what? Oh yeah, it's under 5%. So with that being said, if you wanted a rate quote, if you wanted to see what rates we're going to do, there's your chart. Look at it. You do the math. You think about it. But if the 30-year fix is at 5, that means the 10-year treasury is probably somewhere around 3%. The Feds are predicting that. Are the Feds always right? No. Are they mostly wrong? Yes. But we do all agree that rates are going to come back down. Everything's starting to slowly come back down. Could we have some inflation prints that come in higher? Absolutely. But look, at the overall thing, we went from 9% inflation down to 3%, making huge progress with all these rate hikes. But look, it's hurting the buyer. It's hurting affordability. And the sellers that are sitting there that want to sell, that want to trade up, that want to move, that want to do something, they are stuck, right? So we got buyer strike, we want to buy, and then we have sellers and buyers that are basically like in this limbo where it's like it's not making a lot of sense for a lot of people. But remember, when everybody is fearful, that's the time to be greedy, as Warren Buffett says. When everybody's greedy, that's the time to be fearful. I'm not telling you it's the time to go buy a house, but I can tell you, we're going to look back in a year from now, and if rates are 5% or in the middle, you're going to look back and you're going to say this: I should have bought right now, and I shouldn't have waited. Just like the end of 2022, when people bought, they got the best deals and they locked in better rates, right? And then the rates went up. And then basically here we are. Guess what? Those people got better deals, better buy downs, better equity. So you have to ask yourself the question, in a year from now, do you think you're going to look back? What does the majority think? You're going to look back and go, this is a better time to buy now or then? And if it's then, that means we have a recession. That means we have a major job loss, because that means we have massive inventory that comes to the market. So that means you're predicting a hard landing or a huge recession, huge job loss, big inventory gain. And that's what the camp, because that's the only way I see and anybody I follow where we're going to get the inventory. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week. Lots of data. We'll go over what the Fed says this week. Until then, love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you soon.